And there we go, everyone. We are back again for another fantastic conversation on Friday Night Counter Attack. And I was getting a bit worried here today because my Wi-Fi was dropping in and out. And I was like, my Wi-Fi can't drop in and out when I've got a special guest on the podcast today. This is crazy. I can honestly say this is going to be one of my favorite podcasts to have because in a way, it's going to feel quite odd because Sarah should be here later on because she's a big women's football fan as well. And I'm a big women's football fan as well. And we're going off to Italy to interview one of the top keepers in Serie A or women's. I don't know how you say it in Italian. So I'll get your way of saying it in a second. But let me introduce everyone to Selena Babb. Selena Babb, welcome to our podcast. Welcome to Friday Night Counter Attack. It's good to have you on. And I am dressed accordingly today as well, because you are from the Netherlands playing for AC Milan. How are you doing today? Is it tonight or today? No, it's tonight, isn't it? Because it's nighttime for you.
It's already nighttime for me here. Thank
That's
you.
okay. No, that's okay.
I'm
How are
happy
you doing tonight?
to be on your podcast. Looking forward to it. And right now we have been in the preparations for our game. So tomorrow we have a game, and yeah,
I'm
that's
looking forward.
basically what we're looking forward to right now.
Nah, that's good to hear because there's a lot of things that we can go through going forward, but there's so much I want to learn from you as well because you've had quite a career in football, and it's great to see how you're doing so well. And first things first, I've just got to ask you, how is it going for you at AC Milan this season? How is it working with different goalkeepers and having different types of competition? How's the season going for you, Selena?
To be honest, this is my fourth season right now in Milan, and
Yeah.
to be honest, I'm really happy there, and it's my home. I've been traveling quite a lot. I've been in different clubs, different countries. For the past 7 years, I've been abroad. So yeah, we can say out that Milan is by far my favorite city to be in, and to be honest, the club is very well, and it's very good to be here. It's you see, it's professional, and we've been taken serious. The season has been rough already. We had a rough start, but right now, I think the heads are in the right way, and hopefully we can change the tide.
Yeah, it should be excellent as well. And in the last game, you were out of the team as well. So at the time of recording, this is before the Inter Milan game. But it goes to show that there's so much character within your team as well. You're always fighting for places. There's so much competition going forward as well. How is that going for you now? Because obviously you're in your fourth season. And I've interviewed one of your former teammates. So I'll get to that in a second, but I'm going to get you thinking there as well. But how's the preparation going for the rest of the season? How are you finding it competing against other goalkeepers within your team as well, Selena?
So right now, I just came back from a serious injury on my shoulder.
It's crazy. How long were you out
Yeah.
for that as well? Because I'm surprised. Like, first of all, I'm surprised you even took the podcast because you were out for such a long time, and I'm just there like, I'm so glad you got to do this because you're coming
Mhm.
back slowly but surely. But no, sorry. Before I interrupt again, how long were you out for with that injury, Selena?
More or less 5 months. I waited 2 months for the surgery, and then after the surgery, it was quite quickly actually, because for the shoulder injury that I obtained, it says more or less 4 months and 11 days to be specific. But we beat the time, and we got back in 3 months. So that's
No.
something that I'm really proud of. But yeah, I must say that this has been, I think, the most difficult period that I had uh, in my career. Especially a shoulder injury. I think for a goalkeeper, it's really, uh, let's say it like this. It was really rough to get back there as well. It happened during the game, so to get out there again after trauma, basically, yeah, that was rough. But yeah, we're back together. Your focus always keeps on being like coming back and just performing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you said, slowly but surely coming back. But from an injury like that, from what I saw personally, I thought that would have been longer, like 8, 9 months. But for it to come back in 5 months, again, I'm no doctor, but it goes to show how well you've recovered and how well you're coming back into the training, into the starting lineup sooner rather than later. And it goes to show that you've got that fight and that resilience about you as well. But yeah, the player that I interviewed last time, who used to play for AC Milan, um, Chonch, Dominika
Chonch,
Chonch. Yeah.
yes.
Do you know her?
Yeah, she was actually in my first year when I just came to Milan. I shared a house with her.
Oh wow,
So
that's crazy.
yeah, yeah, it was really funny, to be honest.
Yeah, she's a lovely person to speak to. I spoke to her on one of our previous podcasts as well, and she was just fantastic. And it goes to show, especially when she was like the captain of Slovenia as well, it goes to show how talented she really was. To actually bring that talent over to AC Milan, which is great. So no, that was something that I thought if you were playing together, then that would have been cool. But it shows that you were playing and you lived together, which was quite cool.
Yeah,
Were you very competitive as well when you're working with Dominika Chonch between the two of
I
you?
think, to be honest, I think every football player is very competitive, especially in professional football. I think everybody has that will to win and that hunger to win, you know. So yeah, to be honest, like I said, if let's say it like this, if I have a teammate that will tell me, "Yeah, I will score on you today," I will tell you, "Okay, the whole world can score on me today, but you won't."
Yeah.
And they all know that that will happen then. So it's always a funny thing, but yeah, the competition is always there, to be honest, and as well fighting, for example, for the first spot, for the starting to be a starting goalkeeper. Um, that's something that's going on, but yeah, the competition is always there because that's healthy, and I think it's part of professional football. But to be honest, you're always a team within a team. I always say the group of goalkeepers, they're a team within a team. So there's competition, but it's never against each other. Let's say it like that.
It's healthy competition against each other, but it's strong competition against the opposite opponents as well,
Yeah.
which is great fun as well. Nicely done there, Selena. It's really good. A few quick fire questions about some of your current teammates, and then we'll move on to your all-time teammates as well. So, can you name me the best player that you've played with and against? So, first of all, you can play with your best ever teammate, and then your best ever player that you played against that you faced off against Selena. So, yeah, let's hear that first
So
one.
my best teammate currently right now, I think that is yeah, our Swedish captain, Kosovara Asllani. I think
Yeah.
she's absolutely
Who was that?
amazing. If you
Yeah,
hear something, that's my dog. He
you had
just jumped in.
you had an intruder come onto the screen.
Yeah. He just came in. So if you hear something, if there's a stranger coming in, he will start barking.
Okay. No,
So
that's fine. That's cool with me.
hopefully Blue will be okay.
It'll be
But
good.
yeah, Kosovara Slanik, to be honest, she brings such experience and she's such a great person, to be honest. Great personality, and yeah, you can learn a lot from her inside, but as well off of the pitch. You know, it's just, to be honest, I think she is one of the best players that I've played with.
Do you think she's one of the best players in Europe?
100%,
Mm.
100%. I think she gets the recognition as well for the work that she has done. And in the teams that she has been, you always see that she excels. And with us, she can always make a difference. So for me, yeah, that's 100% one of the best players that I played with.
What's her best moment for you when you've been playing with her or you've been watching her play? What's her best moment for AC Milan? For someone who doesn't know much about this AC Milan football, AC Milan women's football, I should say.
Yeah. So what I can remember is that I think it's the first or the second game that she played, and it was last year when she came. It was against Parma. And to be honest, it wasn't even a game. It was a big game or something. But I remember so well that before one of our teammates was sick, and she was just like taking the time to tell them, "Hey, don't worry, it's okay." And she just came in. She literally just came in, and kid, she takes a touch. I say the kid, but she's a grown woman. But I always talk about her like this. So the kid, she takes one touch and she curls it in the in the top left corner. And yeah, I think that's one of the times that you can really see her class. Like that was one of the first things that comes up when you ask me this question. But as well in the team and in the squad, you see, for example, this season, I think she has been like there were some injuries and stuff like that, you know. So she came in even though she had pain and stuff like that, and she can literally turn the game around for us. That is something that shows only great quality.
Because I've seen it. I'll be honest. I've only seen it for Sweden as well. The fact that she's been playing for such a long time in the national team as well. Like we don't get to watch really Italian women's football here. Not to be that kind of person, but when you watch the Euros or the World Cup, you're looking at her and you're looking at a team and you're just like, this is why Swedish football is so big in for women in Swedish. Yeah, so this is why women's football is so big for fans in Sweden. Because I went to Sweden back in September, and it's like they had I think it's a 30,000 capacity stadium for just a domestic women's game, and it shows that the quality is there, and it shows that the capability is there in terms of how they can develop the game going forward. Other nations don't push it as far as Sweden or USA, Canada as well. Even England, where I'm from, it can do so much better to push the women's game as well, respectively. And when you've got characters like that who are then developing mindsets around the team, like you mentioned as well, getting through injury, having the soft skills to deal with people, that shows the class of a real leader as well. So it's going to show how well of a leader she really is on and off the pitch as well, which is great, Selena.
Yeah.
Nice story there. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Go on. Best player you played against, Selena, and why?
Against, best player that I've played against. So when I was in Spain, I had the opportunity to play against Barcelona. And to be honest, all
At
the
the new
players
camp.
there are amazing. We
Was it
lost
at the was it at the new camp?
100%. No, I
Was that
think
home?
it was a home game.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And yeah, to be honest, the field was absolutely horrendous at that time at Huelva, and it was very small, so the pressure was always there from Barca. And I think, to be honest, that's one of the best games of my life. I think according to the stats, I made 32 saves that game.
Wow. Was that
Yeah.
must have been a record in a game, 32 saves.
Yeah, but they literally counted as well the moment that you interfered and you just caught a high ball, maybe like
Oh,
so.
okay. So when you got
But
contact on it, first
no,
contact.
not really contact, but when you made good interferences, let's say it like this.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
But no, I think at least 12 to 15 saves. That was 100%. So if you watch that one back. It's a Sporting Huelva against
Send it
Barcelona.
to me. I'll watch it
I
later
will.
on. I'll add it
Copa del
into our
Reina.
edit.
We still lost with a great number, but yeah, I played against Putellas and I played against Oshuala, and
Jeez.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah, there
days.
was and Hermoso. I played against Jenny Hermoso, and it was that game is in like it's like a movie in my brain, to be honest.
Did you get to swap
So
shirts later on? Did you get to change with like Putellas or something?
no, I think I was too upset that we lost that game, but it
True,
wasn't.
true professional right there. That's good to hear. But talk to me a bit more about Alexia Putellas as well. What was that like? What year was it as well? And how was it when she was playing against you and you saw her on the field at the same time? What was that feeling like for you, Selena?
It was 2019. It was the year before COVID.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so that was I think it was 2019 or early 2020s. Anyway, I think we only played either one or two games. I can't remember really well because it's always hot in the south of Spain, so it was still hot.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, no, to be honest, that not only Alexia Putellas but as well Oshuala, Jenny Hermoso, they work so well together. At that point as well, Lieke Martens, she was at that team, which is another Dutch girl. Stephanie van der Gracht. They're really big names. Let's say like this.
Superstars
Paños.
everywhere on the pitch.
Yeah, Paños. We played against a lot of big names. You know what I mean? And yeah, for me, you saw how well and how calm and cultivated they were when they played, and it was just, to be honest, at that moment you're not really busy with that because you only try to keep the zero as long as possible.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I succeeded it till that to minute 45. In the last corner that they got, they managed, or was it, yeah, who was it? Oshwala, I think. She managed to get a header in, unfortunately. But yeah, like I said, if you watch the highlights, I think you you can see how many saves there have been made. But no, I think that for sure is one of the games that always sticks with me.
Nah, it's good to hear. And it's a really nice story to hear about it as well, Selena. So thank you for telling me that one as well.
Mhm.
Now I just need to know a bit more about your most challenging moments on a football pitch and what some of your most rewarding moments on a football pitch. Because like you said, you played in Spain, you played in the Netherlands, and you played in Italy. So you played in three big countries for football as well. And I just want to kind of know from each of them your most challenging moment where you overcame something and then you were like, you know what, that made me a better goalkeeper, that made me a better person. So you can tell it from any of those countries, but it's just the fact that I still find it quite fascinating that a lot of players nowadays in England, personally, for English women's football, they still like to stay in England and move around the big team. So, for example, I'm a Man United fan. So Alexia, she moved from Man United to Arsenal, where I thought she's good enough to play for Bayern Munich or for Barcelona or somewhere else. But the fact that you've then gone from A to B to C, it shows again that you're not afraid of a new challenge elsewhere. So again, credit to you there, Selena. But yeah, sorry, back to the question. I'm rambling on now as
No,
well.
thank you. No.
Most challenging moment in your football career and how you overcame that as well.
Yeah, so let's have a storyline here. So I went from the Netherlands to Romania. In the Netherlands, I went to Excelsior, and that was the first year that they started that team in the top tier, like as professional footballers. But it was not professional. There were a lot of, let's say, like yeah, a lot of bugs. Let's say it like this. There were a lot of bugs to fix, and to be honest, uh, I think as well management there could have been better. But yeah, in the end, I got an offer to go to Romania to play
Okay,
Champions League. So I went to
nice.
Romania there, and to just initially to play Champions League. But I fell in love with Romania and specifically Cluj.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, they always won and they always went to Champions League. So we literally won the cup, we won the league, and we went through in Champions League. So for me,
Was that all
that
in the
was a
same
year.
season as well?
Yeah. So
Wow.
that was,
Nicely done.
yeah, yeah. Let's say it like this: the league was not too difficult, but yeah.
So who are you
Uh,
facing off in the Champions League in that season then?
Sorry.
You said you had the Champions League. Was that then the
Yeah.
next season or
No,
the
no, no.
same
That
season?
was that season. So I transferred from Excelsior to Romania to Olympia Cluj
Yeah. And Cluj, were they
to,
playing in the Champions League at
yeah,
that season? Yeah.
they were
Okay.
playing in Champions League.
Nice. Who did you get to
So
face off in the Champions League with? Did you see any of the goats of women goalkeepers at the time as well?
no, to be honest, not, because we did qualifiers and then we did the next round and then we were out again.
Ah,
So basically, you didn't. Then I went to Cyprus,
wow.
only for 3 months because I only went for Champions League, and after that the league there was, I think, even less than the one in Romania. So and then I went to Spain, and in Spain I had a really good connection with one of my teammates. But in Spain it was very lonely. Let's say it like this. I think that was one of the biggest things that I had to face. That for the first time that
We've had
the
that.
team and the club.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. We've had that a lot. Like that's a very big common factor in terms of when I've spoken to different footballers from different countries and eras as well. Loneliness is a big silent killer for a lot of people when they move to different countries, and
Yeah.
how they overcome it or don't overcome it affects how they play on the pitch as well. Would you agree with that yourself as
Yeah,
well?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because, for example, in Romania and in Cyprus, the team was so nice to be there, to be honest, and it was such a warm feeling and homey feeling. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
A lot of friends inside, outside football in Romania, Cyprus, and then you came to Spain, and I literally had one or two players on the team that I could really connect with, and the rest was just so closed. Let's say it like this. And you heard more often about that specific team. That's the way that it is. But let's say it like this. Yeah, that, and then one of them even left. One of my friends left to go and play for a different team. Yeah, then you only have one left, and then it's really really lonely. That was really lonely year. I think I've seen the four walls of my room a lot that year.
I know that
And
feeling. It's dreadful because then you're just like you just don't know how to overcome that feeling. You try and find new ways of coping with it, and then it's just really difficult in terms of helping like at the time as well, like you mentioned, were playing in Cyprus. Was that 2012, 13, was it?
in Cyprus, no, Cyprus is 2018, 2019.
2018, 19, sorry. So yeah, you're playing for
No, 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 I am
Excelsior.
not. Yeah, yeah, that's 2018,
Excelsior was
2019.
Excelsior was 2018, wasn't it? You were there for. Yeah.
Excelsior is 2017, 2018, and
That's
then
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
2018, 2019, 2019, 20. That is it. Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. So even when you're playing for recent years as well, like with AC Milan, you've had that stability. You've had your same teammates over again. Your home city, like you said, you love so much, and then from going from that challenge of working in Cyprus, working in Romania, playing in Romania, learning different languages, cultures, and everything. Like you said as well, just even when you're in those four walls, that must be very daunting. But how did you kind of come over that as well, Selena? How did you then develop a better mindset going forward as well?
To be honest, COVID hit, so that's the only thing. Like the
That's what I
club,
was thinking. It's like
it's
because
yeah,
yeah,
the club didn't allow us to go home, but basically they said to us, yeah, you can't go home. But we all knew what we saw what was happening in Spain, over in Italy, and we knew that it would happen to Spain too. And they basically said, no, 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 you guys cannot go home. And I went. To be
yeah,
honest, I went, and I said, listen, there's no way in hell. I had an injury that time as well in Spain, not around that time, but before that they thought that I maybe had a little fracture in my ankle, and they made me walk to the hospital.
yeah.
Yeah, so I had zero faith in their medical staff, or in, if anything, I have food allergies. I'm a very allergic person, so I have as well an EpiPen and stuff like that. And I was like, there's no way in hell that I'm dying in Spain. So I took literally the last flight to Paris, Flixbus back to Rotterdam. It was a hellish ride, and I got COVID from that time too,
Oh no way,
from
man.
that
Oh
travel.
no.
Yeah, yeah, pretty bad too. And then yeah, basically I could be home with my family, and that is what really recharged my battery. And then came the challenge to be in Milan, and that was something that I took with two hands, of course, and with all the enthusiasm. But yeah, there was as well the challenge that Welba called me back to come and play again, and I said, guys, listen, no, there's no way that I'm gonna come back, because I have no faith. And yeah, like I said, I think that has been as well one of the worst experiences that I had with the club abroad.
I just don't know how you got through that. Like honestly, going from so many different countries to then having COVID to then literally going to Milan, like that's a like honestly, when I was doing my research, I thought that's a really good story. But the fact that you've explained it in such a way that all of these things happen, like I didn't know about COVID, obviously, and going from Romania to Cyprus as well. Full credit to you there, Selena, because again, some people could have just gone, oh, you know what, that's me done. I just want to carry on playing locally at home where I'm safe and where I'm comfortable. But then obviously you had the call from AC Milan, and you thought, you know what, I'm going to go fight, and I'm going to go get out here and play more football elsewhere in another new country that you hadn't played in before as well, which was insane. And yeah, no, fantastic story there, Selena, and credit to you as well, which is great to see. So when I thought first asked you for a challenge, I was expecting like, oh, I played against a really good player and I kept a clean sheet against them. That's a real challenge compared to 90 minutes on a football pitch. So you've done really you've done really well to exceed my
Thank you.
expectations there, Selena, which is really good. But no, carrying on with this, I just wanted to know because on this podcast we like to have a lot of debate and a lot of discussion around things, and on this podcast as well afterwards, we're going to talk about some of our greatest ever goalkeepers because when we tend to interview someone, we like to know a bit more about them as a player, a bit more of them as a professional going forward. So as a goalkeeper now, as you're seeing now in women's football and in men's football, the role of a goalkeeper is now changing from what it was 6-7 years ago to what it was now, using your feet, developing yourself on both feet, being comfortable, saving in different techniques as opposed to what you're used to. So again, as a Man United fan, watching Mary Earps every weekend is quite cool, but a lot of her defenders are defending differently to what she's kind of been used to. And we saw that at the World Cup final as well. When she saved the penalty, she saved it in a very odd technique, but she still saved it, which was crazy. How do you kind of deal with different goalkeeping coaches and different techniques? Do you stick to something that you're really comfortable with, or do you try and challenge yourself in terms of trying to save differently as a goalkeeper? Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah, yeah, I understand what you mean. To be honest, I've been traveling through quite some countries, and every country has its own style of goalkeeping as well. Like its own style of football, but as well the own style of goalkeeping. I think in Italy it's a little bit old fashioned, so I really had to flick a switch, you know, like it was really
Absolutely, yeah.
different. For example, in Spain, they whenever you make a save and it's a deviation, you know, you can kindly like rotate on your butt, and then you can literally go to the other corner. And here, there's something that they don't want at all, you know, like
Mm.
so. I try to take all the good bits of all the countries that I've been in, and all the football cultures that I could have tried, and just combine that and literally combine that to my own style, because yeah, every goalkeeper has his own style, I think. And basically that made me to the goalkeeper that I am right now.
With goalkeepers now, like some of them, you're looking at them and then you're just kind of thinking like their distribution on power is crazy in terms of like even with their arms now as well. Some goalkeepers can throw up to halfway line with not a big stocky build. Like if you know what I mean, like used to be times like when you had goalkeepers like Oliver Kahn or Manuel Neuer who could like throw all the way to halfway line, and
Mm.
now you've got smaller keepers who don't even look like they're as big and bulky. They can still do that now because of the techniques of what they're losing using, the strengths, the different types of development they're doing off the pitch as well. Yoga is a big thing for goalkeepers now, apparently, as well, which is crazy to see. But do you do that? Do?
No, not
No,
really.
that's what I was
But
gonna say.
I will tell
You
you a
should
little secret.
go for it.
It's not only the men that can throw till the midline.
No, that's what I'm saying as well. Like during the
Yeah,
Women's World Cup, we saw that all the time, and I'm just like, this is crazy, and it's so difficult to see
yeah,
how basically like when I'm coaching because I'm a football coach as well, so when I'm coaching I'm just looking at it and some people can't even throw it outside the 18-yard box and you're
yeah.
like, oh my god. So there's a secret skill into developing a technique and the strength to actually do it going forward as well. But
To
yeah,
be honest, I don't really. For example, I can throw on the midline
yeah,
from the box. I can throw it easily on the midline. It's one of my specialties as well. I really find it funny to do it. Let's say it like this, and it's really fun to me. But yeah, I've been doing it since I'm little, so I don't know anything different. For example, I am left-footed but right-handed, so everybody always is being thrown off the moment that I throw with my right, but I kick with my left. So yeah, like I said, I think it's like goalkeeping is such a right now. It's so dynamic. It never stops growing, and you cannot just focus on one style. You just have to see whatever works best for you, and as well, what training works and what training doesn't. But as well, try different styles.
yeah, that's what I was mentioning about like how different with styles, but you've explained it perfectly in terms of like left-footed, right-handed. Some people can throw with both hands now, which is crazy, or they can kick and they can pass with both feet, which is comfortable. But thrown with both hands is crazy. Ambidextrous, I think the term is when you can throw with. I don't know why I've got my hands up like that, but you know what I mean when you can throw in different ways, which is good fun as well. But yeah, one question I wanted to know personally from yourself is, what is your greatest game of football? When was it, and how did it go for you, Selena?
My greatest game. So, like I said, I think my greatest game has been against FC Barcelona. I said
Yes.
that's for sure one, but as well the cup game last year against Roma, against AC
Ooh,
no AS Roma.
yeah, they're
I
top of the
think
league
that
now as well. They're doing really
yeah,
good this season.
yeah, no, last year the cup game, the home game, so AC Milan versus Roma, that was the I think yeah that was one of my best games too. And the qualifying game that I played in my first year for Milan against Sassuolo, that one we tied, and that was enough to qualify for the Champions League. And it was the first
Nice.
time in the history of Milan history of Milan Femminile that they qualified for the Champions League. So
Excellent. Now that's a piece of history right there for you as well to take back, and that's really inspiring to hear as well. So, what happened in both of those games? First, the Roma one, and then the Sassuolo one. So, what kind of stood out for you compared to other games that you had, Selena?
to be honest, the Roma game was literally from the first second straight on. Like
Yeah.
you had to be focused. Within I think the first 10 minutes, they shot three times at the goal, and I had to make three big saves. Um, which was yeah, you didn't have time to come into the game. There was no time to just get adjusted. Let's see the rhythm. Let's see how they play. No, no, bam, you had to be there. So I think in that game, after some minutes, I think I twisted my ankle already
Oh
during
no!
something, but it was really fine. The adrenaline kicks in, and
Did you
you
carry
really
on
don't.
playing after twisting your ankle?
Yeah, of course, there was no way that I was coming off of that field. So
Oh my days! Was that your
no, but you
kicking foot
didn't.
as
I
well?
didn't really feel it, so it was really fine. But
Like you said, the adrenaline kicked in and you carried
yeah,
on with it as well.
yeah. After the game, I think I was completely broken, but it was really fine.
You're putting me to
And
shame now. Every little injury, I'm just there like, oh my days. Now I've got to retire for 6 months and then come back and recover properly. You have to start going to the gym and therapy. But you had a not broken, you had a twisted ankle and you carried
Yeah, it
on.
was not too bad. It was not too bad. A little swollen, but was really fine.
Mm.
Against Sassuolo, that was my first year, and I was second goalkeeper. And in that year, I didn't play so much at all.
Okay.
So I think in that year, I played. Maybe I didn't play for 7 months. Oh, I got a really bad injury.
Again, earlier.
Yeah, I got kicked by my own teammate. That was fantastic. A day before the winter break,
Oh
and
no.
basically tore the lateral ligament of my knee. And I was lucky that I already don't have a meniscus there, so the inner meniscus is already taken out. But
I'm
yeah,
sorry to our
no.
listeners who are squirmish about all these details, but even me, I'm just like, you've gone through so much as a goalkeeper. Sorry.
To be
Um,
honest, we throw our bodies in the middle of every scrimmage. So
every
yeah,
game as well. It's
yeah,
insane.
and
Every training session.
every training session, I throw my body. Literally, whenever people ask me, "It's not difficult being goalkeeper," I said, "No, it's fun." I said, "But yeah, I understand when people say I'm sore because I throw my body on the floor for a living, basically. So every day, and I do it with a smile. So yeah, maybe it's me that's a little crazy, but yeah.
They
So
all say goalkeepers are a bit crazy. They have to be crazy to be in goal. So
I
um
think yeah, I can agree with that because the moment that you get kicked in the head because you just dove in between legs and feet that are kicking at a ball that you want to catch with your hands.
elbowed
Yeah,
in midair as well, going for a
yeah,
50-50 jump as well.
yeah. But
Crazy.
I rather have that than the ones in the middle. I think that you get kicked in the head. But yeah, to be
Ooh,
honest, you shake it off and you just continue.
that's true. That's very true. Sorry, the
Yeah.
Sassuolo game. How was that going for you?
The Sassuolo game I didn't play for I think 5 or 6 months,
Oh, okay.
and then the other goalkeepers got a red card, and I basically just
Shock.
had to be no, the another goalkeeper finished that game because at that time there was that weird rule in Italy that right now we still have a weird rule. It's 10-10. It's just to, yeah, I don't think it's weird, but in one end in professional football you can see that here you have to have 10 foreigners or 10 Italians on the list, and then you
Yeah.
can have 10 foreigners on the list on the game squad.
Oh, I never knew that.
No, and in my first year it was 9 foreigners
Mm.
and 11 Italians. So yeah, sometimes I was in the stands at that point. Um, so when the first goalkeeper got a red card, the other goalkeeper was an Italian one sat on the bench and she had to play.
Mm.
But for the Sassuolo game, the coach came to me and said, "Okay, you're gonna play this game." I said, "Okay, I know. Let's go. We're ready." But yeah, after 5 6 months not playing, the nerves kick in and you feel the pressure because it is we have to win this one or we can't lose. That's the only thing, we can't lose because we have to make sure that we qualify for the Champions League.
That was the end goal. Yeah.
Yeah, and that basically that game was horrendous, to be honest, because we had so many chances in front of the goal, an open goal, and we missed, and we the ball just wouldn't want to get in there.
Do you then shout at your players for missing these chances as strikers coming off the bench? Do you then lay into them at half time? You're like, how are you missing these chances? They're easy chances.
Not really, because I think in women's football, the mental part, they already know that they're not doing the best that they can, and they're already
Yeah.
missing great opportunities. So
So
I
it's more
think,
about lifting them up as opposed to putting
yeah,
them down. Yeah.
yeah, I think some players they really need to say, "Hey, you need to do better. You need to do better because this is not acceptable."
Mm.
But to some players, if you do that, they only shut down and they black out. So you
Just
don't
hide
they don't
away
need
from
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, in halftime you're feeling the pressure, and of course it's 0-0. So at this point, everybody is fine because we're going through. We're qualifying. But yeah, that game was intense, and there's a golden rule in football: if you don't score them, they will for you.
Yeah.
So at some point, they got their momentum, and there was so much heat coming at my goal. Yeah. But I think that was a great performance as well for me. We kept the 0, we kept a clean sheet, and we qualified for the Champions League for the next year. And that I think that was as well a very special moment.
Nah, that's good to hear. Again, inspiring stuff as well there, Selena. It's great to see that you had two different Tails, one against Roma, and one against Sassuolo. A few more questions before we wrap up this part of the podcast, Selena. Name the best piece of advice you've ever received from a teammate. So it could be another goalkeeper that you've worked with or another outfield teammate. So what's the best piece of advice you've been given from a teammate?
The best piece of advice. Um,
Catch the ball, don't punch it.
no, to be honest, as well to have fun. That was my teammate in Excelsior. Is
Okay.
a Belgium goalkeeper, and she said, "Girls, never forget to have fun as well." So this is what I'm telling my teammates right now and my girls right now. Like,
Mm.
listen, one, this is our job 100%, but remember what we started it for. Find that inner girl still that always started football because she just wanted to play football, and try to have fun out there too, because when you have fun, everything will come.
Play within that inner child that was enjoying it just for the sake of it. And then when
Yeah,
you're taking it onto the pitch, that's when you have no worries and you can then express yourself fully as well.
yeah.
That was like me today at football training. I was playing centre back
Mhm.
today, Selena. And I was doing like roulettes and step overs and nutmegging people from centre back, and we're getting pressed on like for like 40 minutes, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, let's just pass the ball to the midfielder, but let
Mhm.
me do a step over before. So yeah, I kind of get that feeling and I can relate to it, which is really good as well.
You
Which is
probably gave the goalkeeper 14 heart attacks, but it's okay.
Oh, he conceded a few goals, but that has nothing to do with me, so it's fine. It was on the other side of the back four, which is good to see. But yeah, before we move on to the next part of the podcast, I've got to ask you, Selena, as well, your top five goalkeepers of all time. So I'm going to ask you for your top five men's goalkeepers and top five women's goalkeepers.
Top five men.
And for the women,
Okay.
you can put yourself at number one by all means. I know the whole
No,
thing of I know what
no,
people athletes are like
100%.
now. I'm the best player ever. That's their mentality. So if you want to put yourself at one, it's fine, Selena.
No, 100%. Not. That's not. I'm not that. I'm not that person. When people ask you, yeah, what team are you playing? I say, yeah, I play in Italy, just casual.
Yeah.
I never really
I play for
outstanding. And then
AC Milan. That's what you can say
no,
to
no,
people.
never. I never. They or like, what are you doing for a living? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just playing sports. Like they're like, oh yeah. And then they try to get more information, but we're always a little bit mysterious about it. And then they say, "Are you any good at it?" I said, "Don't know. You have to watch, then you
I
can
played in
judge."
5 or more countries in goal. And I'll play at AC Milan, one of the biggest teams in Italy, one of the biggest teams in the world.
Will
Yeah.
never be that I will say that, but it's okay.
It might happen. It
No.
might happen. Just
Yeah.
someone randomly gets annoying for you, and you'll be like, "I'm an AC Milan goalkeeper." Do you
Mhm.
get stopped in public, by the way, in Milan? Do people notice you?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. I think in this way, Italy is still a little bit behind.
Mm.
Italy is still a little bit behind. I'm going to move because my dog is gonna bark, and that is never fun.
Yeah, I'm going to attack the camera.
Yeah, no, that's not. But then he won't stop for quite a while. So,
Ah, okay. No, that's not a problem at all. Because
uh,
it's quite common as well with in England. You've got a lot of people who are looking at women's footballers, and it's like annoyingly, we still get this in England where footballers who are footballers, they don't like to stop for pictures or they don't like to be like chat with different people in the street. And I find that really annoying because that's what made footballers in the first place. The fact that they were playing on a weekend and then being able to then chat to the public on the weekdays as well and have fun. But now you just don't see that anymore. So in a way, it's quite good that it's like that in Italy. But um, in women's
yeah,
football, it's still kind of like that, which is quite nice. You could see a woman footballer in the street basically and have a chat with them and then just learn about their game and then just carry on with your day. And that's what people like about it, really, the human aspect of it more than anything.
yeah. To be honest, I always try to make some time for the fans. You will
Yeah.
always see me. Um, if I have my game gloves, and they ask for it, I always toss them. To be honest, they always get them if they ask.
Don't
But
worry, you can send me one of your shirts as well for this season.
100%.
I'll have that as well. Be like, yeah, AC Milan now. I love it,
Yeah.
which will be
No,
good.
but to be honest, I think that's such an important part because you were that child one day and you want them to stop too.
Yeah,
So it starts with you. It starts with you. You cannot be arrogant and say, no, right now I don't have time. Every day there's always a fan outside of our gates. And every day when I walk to my car, he's there. Every morning he gets literally up at the break of dawn to get there, to get to the field, and just say every morning to us, "Hey, good job and success at whatever you're doing later." You know, like he's always saying good luck and continue the hard work, and we're always here. We're having your back as the fans. So I think you can never take that for granted.
Yeah, it's true. It's one of those things. It's what you want to inspire people to learn from you as well. And it's, like I said, the human aspect is so underrated in football nowadays as well. But it goes to show it's still alive and kicking for you as well, Selena. I mean, we got distracted there with the top five of men and women, but I've allowed you to think about it in that way, which is good fun
Yeah.
as well. But before we go on to that, I also want to talk about the fact that don't you see a lot now on social media that there's a lot of parents now encouraging their kids from such a young age to get involved in football because they enjoy that aspect of socializing with different people and working with different people and also networking with different people as well. How is it like that for you now? Because obviously you've got a lot to kind of deal with on your plate. You're working in Italy, you're working away from home as well. Do you still have time to work with people both in the Netherlands and in Italy for yourself, Selena?
Yeah, in the Netherlands, there's always a little girl. She's a goalkeeper too, and she follows me around. To be honest, and she always. I said in my first year or my second year that I came back, I said to her, "Listen, one day when I have time, whenever I have time, let's train together. Let's have a training together." To be honest, like I see her, she's playing for the under 13, under 14 of the Dutch national team as well.
Wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, so I always try to take my time to if they want to have tips or something, even if they send me a DM and I see it's a genuine person, to be honest, because you get a lot of trolls as well.
Yeah.
So I always try to react and I always try to interact.
Don't worry,
So
we
yeah.
get trolls all the time as well on our podcast for people's football limited opinions, but it is what it is as well. And also after this podcast, I'll share with you a Dutch footballer who I've interviewed previously as well. She plays for PSV Eindhoven and she's in one of the youth setups for the Netherlands side as well. So maybe when you go back, you can train with her as well. I think she plays as a winger at the
Yeah.
moment for PSV. But yeah, before we wrap up the podcast, I want to say thank you very much for your time today, Selena. It's been an absolute joy and a pleasure to learn from you and to learn more about you. And to end the podcast, top five
Top
men's
five.
goalkeepers and top five women's goalkeepers. So we'll start with the goalkeepers from the women's side. So I know you're going to put yourself in the top five somewhere,
No,
and then we'll finish with
100% not.
the top five from the men's side as well. But no, thank you
Yeah.
very much for your time, and away you go. Top five women goalkeepers of all time. Selena,
Top
where we going?
five of all time. So when I was a little girl, I was like a mad fan of Hope Solo.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
legend.
a mad fan. Then you have Sari van Veenendaal, the Dutch one. Yeah, she's a great goalkeeper, to be
Have you
honest. She
met
won
her
the.
as well? Have you
Yeah, I've met her.
trained with her as
Uh,
well?
Not trained with her because she went from Utrecht, from where I played
Mm.
before Excelsior in the Netherlands, to Twente.
Oh, okay.
And so that was a year before me, but I played against her in Atletico,
Oh, nice.
when she was in Atletico and I was in Huelva.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, she was as well one of the girls that couldn't leave the country. That Atletico had said, no, you can't leave the country
Mm.
whenever there was COVID. So
What was it
um,
like when you played against her? Did you get to have a few words of wisdom from her later on as well after the
yeah,
game? Yeah.
100%. Like, to be honest, she's such a great person and great personality, and she always wants to help out. She immediately said to me, if you're ever in Madrid, just hit me up, and if you ever need help with anything, just tell me, and I can help you. And I said vice versa, 100%. If you want to stay in the south of Spain, tell me, and we try to arrange something.
Nice.
But yeah, no, great personality.
Great person to
I
know as well, like you said.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
best
yeah,
ever
yeah,
keepers in the Netherlands, which is great.
yeah. Right now, in this moment, I think Mary Earps is in there too. She is quite a character. Let's say it like
Are
this.
you
I
putting her
think
at number three?
I think she's a solid three. Yeah, right
Solid
now,
three. Yeah.
a solid three.
Yeah, my favorite moment of Mary Earps was last season when I went to watch Aston Villa women's versus Man United women's. We won in the last minute. It's a last minute header, and it's the craziest thing. I'll have to send you the video later, but literally, it's like at the Man United end when Mary Earps was going to celebrate, all the fans were there, and I'm going to say it as blunt as possible. Most of them were children and like mothers and grandmothers and stuff. And then you have me like a football hooligan, effing and blinding, like swearing and stuff like, yes, we effing did it. And then she looked at me and then she's like, there's kids here. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So it's really funny as well. But she was really up and about it, but she knew not to swear in front of the kids. And I was like, okay, different type of football, but it was still a great game to go to. And it's quite cool that I got that moment with Mary Earps and the Man United women's team. So yeah, Mary Earps, solid 3. Very happy with that one. Who's in your top 2, and where are you putting yourself in this top 2, Selena?
No. So on number 4, I put Kaylin Sheridan.
Okay.
One from the goalkeeper of the national team of Canada. She plays in America too. I think she's really a solid goalkeeper, to be honest. If you look at her performance, she makes some crazy saves from angles that you think, okay, how did you do that?
Yeah.
And then I leave spot number 5 to you. Okay, you can fill that one in.
I'm obviously going to back you after this one. When you come back from your injury, you'll be top 5. It's perfectly fine for me. So yeah, I'm happily going for that one for me. I'm happy with Selena Babb being in there at number 5, which is great. I was never going to say no, because then you'd never be on another podcast with me ever again. So I like what you did there. You set it up for yourself. But no, that's a solid top 5. That is right. Yeah. Top 5 men's. Top 5 men's goalkeepers of all time. Where are we going with this one, Selena?
So the first one, and when I was a little girl, was a fan of this guy, and I'm still a fan of this guy. And I, before I became a professional footballer, that I could actually live off football, I was fortunate enough that I could meet him at least 4 or 5 times, and that's Edwin van der Sar.
Oh my days! Oh my. So you knew I'm a Man United fan, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm going to mention Edwin van der Sar first." Oh,
no,
wow!
He's my all-time favorite. To be honest, if I could ever train with him, I give everything just to have 10 minutes of training with him.
By the way, for our listeners, I'm not saying wow that she's chosen. I'm saying wow that she's met him 4 or 5 times. By all means, tell me your favorite moment with Edwin van der Sar when you met him. Where did you meet him? When did he come and see you? Or when did you go and see him? What was it like? Selena, I need to hear all about this.
I've been working before I became really like that. I could live off football. I was working in the boardroom of Feyenoord. Of the club.
Nice.
And basically, yeah, in the boardroom, there comes the staff of Ajax as well. So the moment that they played home, and there's been a lot of opportunities that they played home in that season, he was always there. And I remember the first time that I saw it, I was like, this guy is mad tall. How tall is he? I didn't even reach to his shoulder, and I'm 176. So and I was like, he is so tall. And then, of course, I have to ask him what he wants to drink, what he wants to eat. And I was just stunned, to be honest. And then after, I think, the third occasion that he saw me, he said, hey, but you're a goalkeeper too. And I was like, oh, he knows. But it was basically the bartender that told him that I was a goalkeeper too. So thanks to my friend still. But
that's insane. No. That's insane. Go on then. Yeah. Tell me your favorite Edwin van der Sar moment of all time from his career. What was your favorite moment watching him play?
Yeah, to be honest, I was so small, but I remember that I watched almost every game, and especially in the national team. I remember so well that I had a shirt of his, and that I always.
Did he sign it for you? Did he sign it for you?
No, unfortunately
not. Not yet.
Not yet.
When you next see him.
Maybe we can do a shirt swap. That would be fun.
That'd be iconic. That would be. Yeah. But no, what did he mean to Dutch fans, and what did he mean in the national team for you being the #1 goalkeeper for such a long time as well?
To be honest, he's such a solid guy. He is such a solid guy. Like I think, as a goalkeeper, that's what I want to represent as well. Just that trust, that calmness, that confidence that my defense and my whole team can have in me, and that is something that I really rely on. That they can rely on me. So that is something that I really took from him, that I saw in his style of playing, and that yeah, that for me is always something that sticks.
Nah, it's good to hear that. My favorite memory, obviously being a Man United fan, was him saving Nicholas Anelka's penalty in 2008 in the Champions League final. But Edwin van der Sar has such a great record of being one of the most iconic goalkeepers in Premier League football. I also think he's one of the most underrated goalkeepers of all time because he's been a Champions League winner at Juventus. He did so well for Manchester United. He did amazing for the Netherlands as well. Played across so many different eras, and it goes to show how talented and how underappreciated Edwin van der Sar really was. And I personally think is a role model for a lot of players going forward now as well in the Netherlands national side. Because I think it's fair to say no one's replaced Edwin van der Sar. You've had Sillinson, you've had Stecklenburg, you've had a
Yeah,
few,
but
you've had Tim Krul as well. No one's really replaced the heights and the quality of
no,
Edwin van der Sar. I mean, heights is in terms of the quality, not height as in like
yeah,
6 foot
as well
five.
that because that guy is tall. Oh, but as well like just how he is, how he carries himself. I think none of the goalkeepers that right now is walking around, maybe Noppert, that
Mm.
he has that vibe, you know.
Yeah,
But as well,
I need to see more
yeah,
from him as well. I think he needs to move
yeah,
to a bigger club going
yeah,
forward as well because he was okay in the World Cup. I didn't mind him, but I think more needs to be around better quality because Van der Sar said it recently as well. When it's around big quality, big attacking players and working with them in training, that's how the goalkeeper improves year in year out
yeah,
and stays consistent year in
yeah,
year
hundred
out as well.
percent. No,
Great,
100%.
great segment there with Edwin van der Sar. So he's definitely on your top 5 list.
No,
One of
he is my number one. That's not even he is my number one.
number one's perfect with me. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to disagree with that at all. So number one, Edwin van der Sar. Where are we going for 2, 3, 4, and 5?
2 is Buffon,
Excellent.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
top baller.
the to be honest, he played till he was 40 with Parma, and then yeah, like right, it's crazy. His career already is crazy. In my third is Dida. I had the opportunity to train with him
Oh,
as well.
these stories are coming out of nowhere, Selena. You have to warn me before you say these things. When did you train with Dida, the 2002 winning goalkeeper? What 2002 World Cup winning goalkeeper? That's insane.
In my first year, but it was just like not really a training. It was like a penalty shootout, and the men were there, and we were there, and then like that was
What?
the.
What? Who else was there? What other players were there?
So that was Cruncho. There was me. There was Donnarumma.
Donnarumma. Oh my days. Oh my days. Oh my goodness
And
me.
who was there more? I think it was Tatarashanuma. I don't know for sure. Anyway,
Have you got a
to be
video of
honest, it's
this?
no, it never really came out. So
Oh, okay.
we have
Behind the
to,
scenes. Behind the
yeah,
scenes.
we have to ask. But it was really cool to already meet him. That was the only thing. It was not really a training. We cannot really say it's a training, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
really cool.
Nah, that's still
And
amazing to hear though.
yeah,
Again, like AC Milan, he was on his way out, or he may have retired by then because Donnarumma, like you said, was coming in.
yeah.
The best
No,
goalkeepers at
I
the club.
remember so well that the press manager, she come to me and she says, "Yeah, Donnarumma asked about you, like how you're doing and how you're liking the team." And I was like, "Wow, the men are showing interest in the girls' side." And
Mm.
that was my first year in Milan. So for me, it showed that the club was really connected.
That's how you grow together as well. You can
Yeah,
only grow by lifting one another up as well at the end of
yeah.
the day, which is absolutely insane. So Dida's on the list, Buffon's on the list, Van der Sar's on the list. Does Gianluigi, yeah, Gianluigi Buffon's on the list as well.
Yeah.
Donnarumma, is he making the list for you?
I think Manjan is a little bit. I think Donnarumma is good. Is really really a good player.
Who's better for
But
you, Maignan or Donnarumma? Don't worry, you don't have to say. You don't have to
mm,
say, but is there a clear winner for you? You don't have to say who the winner is because I know you're a player fan,
I
but
yeah, I think the reaction of one of them is a little bit better than the other
that's
one.
that's fine. Tell me off recording because I'm not getting you in trouble for this, but at least I know one answer. At least I know the answer will come in later on as
Yeah,
well. But
yeah,
nice to
no,
hear your honesty with this one because
yeah,
some people are like, "Oh, this guy is great. This guy is great." But I'm like, when you watch one of these goalkeepers, again,
yeah,
for our listeners, we'll talk in code, but you'll hear us later on. When you're looking at one of these goalkeepers, you're like, "This guy is crazy. The talent he has is scary." Then when you're looking at another one of these goalkeepers, you're just like, the frame that he has, the ability that he has. It's insane to see what he has available as well. So both
Yeah.
amazing keepers, don't get me wrong, but honestly, I'll find out the answer later,
Yeah.
which will be good fun as well. So Magnon is on the list as well. And who makes
Yeah.
number 5 for you on this one, Celine?
So then we have Neuer, 100%. We can't leave him out. And to be honest, 5 is even too low for him.
Yeah. He changed the way goalkeepers played in the modern game as
Yeah.
well, again, which is
Yeah.
absolutely incredible to see as well. But yeah,
Yeah. No, to be honest, what I take from him is his 1v1s.
mm.
Is his 1v1s because he's not coming sliding out like a madman. And to be honest, that is what I created my style on too, you know. That's what I actually had with one of my teammates today. I had a conversation and I said to her, we were doing 1v1s. And I said to her, listen, I said, I think for you it's so scary when a goalkeeper actually stops. I said, because, for example, we have another goalkeeper, a third goalkeeper. She comes out flying, literally flying, so aggressive. But to be
It's
honest,
then easy to react to that as well, because then
yeah,
you know which way you can kick the ball. But when they're slowing down, you then slow down your mind, and then your body slows down
no,
as an attacker, and then the goalkeeper just comes in
exactly.
when they need to.
Exactly. She just told me like she said whenever I'm playing against our third one, she said it's so easy for me. Like I'm happy. I'm like cheering already that she comes out flying. I said and I have to be against you with that 1v1 because you have speed for a goalkeeper. She said you're too fast for a goalkeeper. So I think that I got you, but then you stop. I said, and then there's panic in my head. I said, and that's what I want to create.
Yeah, it's true.
So
When you
that's
create panic and chaos as a goalkeeper, the shots can go anywhere, which is absolutely
yeah.
insane. But one unbelievable set of lists from both the top 5 women's goalkeepers of all time and the top 5 men's goalkeepers of all time, which is great as well. And like I said, Selena, you're featured on the women's list as well. So like I said, I'm happy to put you in at number 5, which is great. And I'm very, very, can't even get my words out. I'm very, very happy that you're able to have the podcast on today as well. On this podcast, we're going to finish off later on with our co-host as our top 5 goalkeepers in the world right now, which will be good fun indeed. But Selena, I just want to say thank you very much for your time today. Also, I want to say thank you very much for speaking in English as well. We always say this to our foreign guests that we get on as well. We always appreciate the fact that you're speaking and thinking in a different language, no matter how good your English is. It's the fact that you have the respect to speak to us in English. And I always try and promise people that I can speak to them in their language, but my Dutch is quite poor still. I can wear the jumper perfectly fine, but I'll look to improve my Dutch going forward as well, which will be great. Best of luck for the season ahead. When I'm in Milan, I'm going to have to try and call you out for a one-on-one challenge now as well. I'm not a striker by trade, like I mentioned. I'm a centre back, so I'm going to have to try and challenge you to a few challenges, goalkeeper against
100%.
striker.
Let's do a 10 free kick.
Oh no, I can't do free kicks. Oh, that's gonna be very difficult as well. But I'm looking forward to the challenge. When the challenge happens, it will be coming soon. But yeah, everyone, thank you very much for listening. Selena, where can everyone find you if they want to see more from your career at AC Milan and more from you personally?
To be honest, on Instagram, that's just
Okay.
Selena Babb and an underscore. And if you literally just type in on YouTube my name, and you will always see me popping up. So
Excellent. I'm
whatever.
looking forward to seeing your highlights against Barcelona as well. That would be great fun as well, which would be great. But no, everyone, thank you very much for listening to this podcast. Do follow Selena on our social medias, which will be on the description below. Take care. Thank you very much. And Selena, thanks very much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.